Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Hi, everyone. Before we begin, is the microphone okay? Do I sound okay? I need to know this before anything can continue. Sounds good? Sounds good, because I'm a bit nervous because it's like a little bit far. Hang on, let me fondle it and turn up the gain a little bit. Oh, how's that? How's that? How's that? Am I loud? Do I need to yell? Can you hear me? Okay, good. Right. I just heard Blueberry. Hang on, she can hear me talking. I could go louder. I could go louder. Okay. I could go louder. Oh my god, I think the gain's all the... Wait, hang on. Give me a minute. Now it's... Oh. That's up. That's up. That's up. That's up. How we doing? How we doing? Better. Ooh. I'm tweaking it. Hang on, Blueberry's yelling at me. I knew the second I started. She'd want to do this. Hang on. Come on, Bobby, you come in here. Come on. I know.
Wacky pee-pee.
Yeah, so let me get something. Hi, Dragon. Hi. All right, good. I like that the microphone's over there now because now I can deal with it. So let's get something straight. This is not the final setup. This over here, the reason I have these are my bar stools and these are my Sanjis. The reason I have a Sanji here and a Sanji here and a bar stool here and a bar stool here is because I just put a computer mat down today because this is carpeted floor. And I need to flatten it. And I was like, fuck it, I'll just put Sanji's there and I'll let it sit, you know? But behind me is a bunch of, so those are pink Miku figurines, and then those are all Sanji. I don't know how much you can see. My microphone is covering, it's in the mirror. You can see the mirror there. This is not, that's a window, by the way. That's not a wall. I know it looks like I'm contained in a cage. That's a window, I promise you that. Anyway, this whole wall is going to be pink. It's gonna be pink, and there's gonna be nothing but Sanji on it, right? It's gonna be a full Sanji shrine. However, I do not have the current I nearly said technology. I don't have the stuff currently to be able to create that yet because I'm waiting for the pink felt, and I'm waiting. There's pink felt. Did you know pink felt exists? I'm waiting for the pink felt, and I'm waiting for my pink bookshelves. Yes, the bookshelves are going to be pink. Yes, the Sanji shrine is going to be pink. What are you expecting from me? So this is the new setup. This is the new room. I used to have roommates, everyone. I now no longer have roommates. I have moved. This is going to be my permanent location. And I currently live alone. And that's why this creature here is desperate to be with me. Can you hear her purring? She's desperate to be with me because I'm the only one she got now. Aren't I, Bobby? I'm the only one you've got. Oh, isn't she so cute? Isn't she so cute? Oh, she is so cute. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, sit with Sanji. Sit there. You like the bar stools before. Sit there. Sorry, I'm very annoying. I know, I'm a very annoying cat mum. You can sit there. That's okay. There you go. Sit there while I read the chapter bobbing, and Sanji can go here with his friend Nyanji. All right. All of the same shade of pink or different shades? Technically they're different, but they look the same, don't they? I got really lucky. Never mind. Does Mary miss bobbing? No. Does bobbing miss Mary? No. So I used to have two cats. One of the cats was my roommates, who I no longer have. Don't have roommates anymore. Blueberry is not, like, she doesn't mind other cats, but she doesn't care. She just doesn't care. So she's quite happy to be just with me now. Just with me. I know that sounds crazy, but she's been very clingy and very happy to just be with mum. So, you know, That's kind of how they are. Nah, not all cats. Some cats are quite friendly with other cats. Blueberry's friendly, she just doesn't care. Isn't that right, Bobby? Anyway, so yes, everyone, welcome to the new room. Thank you for the sub. New chapter. Sorry, I'm yapping. This is the reason I couldn't stream the chapter on release. I meant to have my internet. Sorry, I've got so much to say. I meant to have my internet on day of moving in, which was last week. That didn't happen. That was great. I just got it today. I'm quite nervous because I currently don't know how good this internet is. So far, so good. So far, the streaming is fine. And so far, it feels like everything is functioning. Is everyone feeling okay? Are we all feeling good? Are we all is everything moving like normal? Good for you. Seems to be working. Okay. So long as it works, you know. Congratulations, thank you. It does feel pretty good. Once I've got this office set up, like guys, this is an office. There's no bed. This is an office. This is my office. This is MelonTee's office. I get to say that Sanji pays my mortgage. Isn't that the best feeling in the fucking world? I have a mortgage and Sanji pays for it. I send Sanji out there and he comes and I get money. Isn't that fantastic? I literally said in my Discord, this situation is not Sanji is the provider. I whore him out, right? I sent him to the streets and he comes back with my money. That's how this works. And he would be very happy about it, exactly. So everyone can start saying Sanji pays MelonTee's mortgage. I am more than happy for you guys to say that. Please start saying that. Please tell people that. Please tell everyone that. The Sanji pimp. The Sanji tax in action. He'd gladly pay for it. Exactly, he would. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I can be as loud as I want because this room that I'm in is in the very middle of the apartment that I got. So that wall there, right? More of my apartment's on that other side of the wall. That wall there, more of my apartment on that side of the wall. That's my balcony. That area there is the balcony. And over there is just the door to the apartment. I've situated myself directly in the middle of my apartment so I can scream. There's no one above me at this time of night. I'd hope not, because upstairs they have 2-story, which means when they go to bed, they go upstairs further away from me. I'm in the perfect situation here. No one should be able to hear me. I should be able to commit a murder in this room and no one will be able to hear me. And I'm saying this because it is currently 2 a.m. It is 2 a.m. and I can scream. My voice is so calming. That's going to change. You will soon be afraid of my voice. Most people start to get a bit scared of me here. It's in a good way. If you don't get a little bit scared of me by after watching some of my streams, I'm concerned because that's the goal. Right? That's the goal of this channel. That's the goal of you guys knowing me. You should be a little bit afraid of me. And if you're not a little bit afraid of me, I'm not doing my job. Anyway. Okay, Blueberry wants to leave again. I'm sorry. I'm now a single mum, guys. I'm a single mother having to look after this girl. So give me a sec. Congrats on moving. Hang on, it's coming up. Thank you. I'm just letting my girl out. Please leave. I know. Bye-bye, bobbing. Bye-bye. I guarantee you in about 10 minutes she's gonna be back. She's gonna be back. All right. Ugh. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And my new chair. Yep, I had to... Okay, hang on. Look, I know. I've got so much to say, everyone. I've got so much to say. I'm sorry. It's been a while. Gaming chairs are fucking scams. Do not get gaming chairs. Do you want to see this chair? Would you like to see it? Ready? This is an office chair. I just got it in pink. Gaming chairs are horrible for your back. Do not get gaming chairs. I had that one pink chair for a very long time. It was great. I liked it, but it fucked my back up. And you know how I know it fucked my back up? Because I started doing exercises in the morning and I was going, ouch, ouch. Every time I was trying to do fucking leg lifts, I was going, ow, 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 ow. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And I had to ask friends who are not professionals, but they saw my chair and said, it's the chair, get a new chair. And they're right. I was shrimping. I was really shrimping. Gaming chairs are horrible. They're so horrible. They look good, but they're really bad for you. So please, get an office chair. It's a bit boring, right? It's a bit mundane, but you can get them in fun colors. So get a fun colored office chair. And I promise you, your back will thank you. Because that chair was killing me. It was just killing me. I'm glad I used the move as an excuse to be able to get a new chair. Anyway, standing desk users stay standing. I do like standing desks, but I like sitting. Do I have an allergy to morning exercises? Probably. IKEA market supremacy. Oh my god, that's one thing. I was forced to build IKEA furniture again, and I don't know if anyone saw the photo. Probably not many of you probably follow my Instagram. I don't have tools currently. I've only got a screwdriver. I don't have a hammer. The IKEA cabinet that I was building required a hammer that I was not supplied with. I had to use Nami's shoe. For those who don't know, I cosplayed Nami. I was like, fuck, I need a hammer. I don't have a hammer. What's the biggest, chunkiest shoe I've got? Nami's shoe. So I used my cosplay Nami shoe to hammer in to hammer in the nails for the cabinet I was building. And you know what? It fucking worked. It worked great. It was fantastic. I don't need any tools. I can just use Nami's shoe. It worked well. I'd show you the cabinet if it were in this room. It's not in this room. It's in the bathroom. But it was great. Was it the poop and fart? No. How functional Nami. Listen, modern problems require modern solutions. It's so girly pop. Thank you. Cosplay Usopp. I should femme Usopp. My goal for cosplaying is to femme everyone. I femmed Sanji, I femmed Doflamingo. I have to do Sanji again because I can improve him. I femmed Sanji, I femmed Doflamingo, I femmed Law, but Law was easy because that was canon, that was given to me. I was Nami, as you know. I don't know who my next project should... Oh, I wanted to femme Zoro. I think that was my next project. But I have to be Big Mom. I just look like her. I'm not even trying to say that in a big-headed way. I look like her. Like, I've got her same fucking nose. It really gets me every time. I have to be Big Mom. The time is ripe. It is. I have to cosplay them before Oda does it, because Oda's going to femme them, guys. It's a matter of fucking time, and I have to do it before he does it so people can go, Mel, Oda's in your fucking walls. Oda's not in my fucking walls. It's just that he likes to femify his men. He's done it how many times now? He literally, like, why? Why did he turn Law into a woman? There was no reason for it. I'm glad he did it. I hope he does it again. There was no reason for it. It's going to happen again. He is going to femme all his characters at some point. It's going to happen to Luffy. It's going to happen to Zoro. It's definitely going to happen to Sanji. It already did. He did it for his wife, and I hope he does it again for his wife. I hope his wife goes, hey, honey, can you make some more? Do that again. You know that man's a wife man. He's 100% a wife man. I love the theory that Law is his wife's favorite character, and that's why Law was so involved. While that's not a confirmed theory, like it's a rumor, I believe it. I truly believe it. He's clearly a wife man, so it really gets me. Anyway, let's read the chapter. I'm sorry, I'm Yapatron 5000 right now. All right, what happened last chapter? Please, by the way, tell me if anything starts sounding weird with the microphone. I'm a bit nervous with the new setup because I just want everything to work, right? So if I start sounding far away or quiet, you got to tell me. Someone's got to start shaking me, okay? Oh, that's right. We got, you can't see when I do that. We got Shamrock and Shanks, and we got Shanks going, I hate everything down there. I hated them. I hated the poor people down there. He's clearly acting. By the way, I'd like everyone to know, do you guys know Drork Show? Drork Show and Mama Drork? Drork publicly apologized to me for guessing that it was Shirahoshi, that is Loki's phone friend. While it is not fully confirmed, if it were not Shirahoshi at this point in time, that would be fucking crazy. That would be absolutely crazy if it were not Shirahoshi at this point in time. Because then that is a crazy red herring for what? You know what I mean? Like, what would the red herring be for if he were doing that? And for those who don't know, I went on the Drork Show podcast to talk about the Baratier and talk about Sanji and the Baratier, but we talked about more than Sanji, and we ended up talking about the chapter where I think Loki had his phone friend, and I guessed it was Shirahoshi all the way back when. The second that shaggy snail was introduced, I said, I think that's Shirahoshi, right? And Jork said to me, if it's Shirahoshi, I am going to publicly apologize to you and say that you were right. And guess what he did? He DM'd me immediately, by the way, immediately when he saw I read the chapter, and he said, I'm so sorry. He said, you're just so big brained and intelligent. Like, that's what he said. And I said, that's right. That's right. That's what I fucking thought. I'm telling you guys, it's going on my grave that I guessed it was Shirahoshi. It'd be crazy if it weren't though. So we'll find out. We'll find out. Anyway, let's read the new chapter. Sorry, yep. We'll read the new chapter. He made the apology on stream. Good. Good. All right. Sorry, everyone. Get your chapters out. I haven't been spoiled. I'm not looking at it yet. I haven't been spoiled. I don't know anything that happens. I'm always good at avoiding everything. Also, I haven't had internet for the past week. So there was no way I could have been spoiled. So here we go. Chapter 1168. 1168, The Snows of Elbaf and its Hachi. A family of sheep knitting hutch on 6 gloves. That is so... I really like how much Oda likes Hachi. I think he really likes him. I think he thinks he's a cute guy. I mean, I personally like Hachi a lot because the Hachi is like the son of Rayleigh and Shaki, for those who don't know. I always remind people of that. And they're like, what? That's something a lot of people forget. Hachi was raised by Rayleigh and Shaki. Please remember that. I think that's a really important detail because I think that's very, very sweet and very cute. And also that's probably why Hachi doesn't have that violence towards humans in the same way Arlong did, because of Rayleigh and Shaki. Which is so sweet to think about. Anyway. Alright. What's this called? Okay, this is Elbaf. Whew. That same year, 15 years ago, around the world. They're saying those giants in the Navy played a crucial role once again. That is so great to hear. I used to think they were scary. Now I wish I could meet one someday. Is there any way to get more shipped here? Folks can't get enough of that Elbaf seafood. Yeah, I bet. Good Elbaf Seda? It's quality stuff. Too bad it's so hard to ship. Sold. Elbaf New World. Oh my god, Harold! And once our dream of being part of the world government comes true. Who's that? Our dream? Whose dream? I think that we should build a cruise ship so that we can travel freely to our fellow nations. It's tough. To the rest of the world, we are just a very curious minority. There are so many different peoples in so many different countries. They each have cultures worthy of respect, and as we come into contact with them, Elbaf will gain more friends and more wisdom. Yippee, I can't wait. We're almost there, my countrymen. Our future is bright. Guess the warrior business is dead. I will see it through, Ida. Sorry, Ida. It's Ida, isn't it? The Walrus School. God, Harold is huge. This is thanks to you, Saul. A lot more healthy and kids swinging swords. Oh, he's saying healthy young kids swinging swords. Derishishishi. Don't it scare you thinking about what you're losing, Harold? I no longer think of military might as our national strength. Oh, it is Ida? Okay. Ida, not Ida. Ida taught me everything I know. Yup, she's dead. The fact that I met her is my lifelong treasure. I'm glad he likes her a lot, but what about your kids? I'll keep reading. Hey Harold, you've really changed. When I first came here, I was terrified of all the civil wars, but you've changed this country bit by bit. Fuck, he's just huge, isn't he? This is fucking Odin and Toki all over again, sorry. Children studying hard, bright and cheerful laughter. It's like a different country completely. Old practices, strange customs, we ought to throw out all the bad habits of our warrior past. Really? But I like warrior's pride. I think it's cool. You ought to treasure your culture. This is such an interesting arc. Well, what about the fact that you and I weren't allowed to marry? I've never gotten over that. You told them you wanted to make me your true wife, didn't you? That's so sweet of you. You're my big sweetie. Oh, what about Loki? He'll be Hajrudin's little brother. How's that? Ooh. Ooh. To me, that's what he's always been. Ooh. It's rough. It's rough out here. Just hearing that from you will keep me fed for months. But really, I don't mind. You're everyone's king, Harold, not just mine. We're almost there, aren't we? That's right, Ida. Very soon we'll be connected to the rest of the world, and our world will grow to be millions of times larger than before. Then we'll do what we used to do and go traveling all over. That sounds fantastic. I can't wait. Oh, and she just dies. Neither can I. Slump. Oh my god. And then she just dies. Okay. Oh, and Loki's in prison. Loki couldn't even see her while... Really? He can't even see her when she's dying? What a rancid fucking nation. Oh my god. Sorry. Anyway. Whatever. I can't think about this too much. I'll get mad. Burn the place to the ground! To the ground! 14 years ago, Sacred Mary Joie. Shanks has gone missing. We know. We know. Yes, and once his current mission was complete, he was on track to be made a full-fledged knight. As his backup, this means you have a golden opportunity. Will you take it? Of course, I want to join the Knights of God. It means that Elbaf will be allowed to join the government. Congratulations, the Great One trusts you. I'm feeling ominous. I'm feeling rancid vibes. What a long haul it's been. And now you will be known as the king who changed Elbaf's history forever. Actually, on the day that Elbaf is entered into the world government, I plan to abdicate the throne. Someone younger and purer deserves to be our new king. That is a crazy fucking thing to say in front of Imu. That's a crazy thing to say in front of Imu. That's a crazy thing to say in front of the literal immortal king of the fucking world. Oh. Goodness me. Now hang on. Well, like, pause for a second, because this is like what One Piece is about. It's about the new generation and the youth bringing the future, because the future changes with the youth, right? The youth are the future. So it's no surprise that Harold is saying this, because that's a huge theme of One Piece, that the youngins should be the ones in control, not the oldies. That's why it is so funny when I first read One Piece and I saw the 5 elders and they were all old men, old ass men controlling the world. I went, ah, there it is. Like, it's obvious what's being said, right? They're not only old men, they're like kind of immortal old men. They won't die. Totally not a commentary, you know what I mean? Which is why Imu being like this immortal king who refuses to step down, it's obvious, you know? It's just obvious what's being said here. Nothing changes so long as you have the old generations running things. Just not how things work. So there you go. Oh, someone younger and purer deserves to be our new king, and that is for Mu to decide. Why is someone sitting on the empty throne? Come closer. I have been watching thee, Harold. God, I love Imu's design. Yeah! Sorry. That's a real... Whoa! Why is the Harold panel... Why does it look like... Hey, wait! Sorry, why... Hey, why did Oda put his whole pussy into that? What's going on? Damn! Is it just me? Why is that Harold panel look so good? Like... What's going on? Oh my god, sorry. That one Batman panel, oh my god, don't even start. You can't say that. You can't say that. This person said in 50 years, what did Garp change in the world government? You can't say that. People get really mad when you bring that up. But you know, oh my god, I didn't say it. 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 This strength, it's rippling through me. It's almost frightening. Okay, so that the mark has been changed. Oh, it's got horns on it. What mark did Shanks have? It didn't have horns. It was just a base mark, wasn't it? It must have been. Someone confirm that for me. Sorry, Shanks. I said Shanks, right? I said Shanks. I didn't say Garp just then. Yeah, base mark. Okay, yeah. Okay. Good. The basic one. Good. It's rippling through me. It's almost frightening. Sorry, the panel of Harold is cracking me up because the elders are like clearly like a little bit rushed drawn because of course it's crazy that Oda's gotten this many chapters out, and meanwhile Harold is just like just so like well rendered. Like Oda said they have to eat. He's making sure we are looking at Harold. That's so funny. Sorry. And now he is immortal. It chills the spine. Oh. Hang on, we'll talk about that. It chills the spine. He is more than a monster. At this point, he's a weapon. Okay. Now at long last, thou art an undying knight in service to Mu. Undying? It still doesn't feel real. Thou wilt create an abyss on Elbaf. Abyss. That will be thy bond to us. Oh, those must be what the portals are called. And when thou hast completed thy final duty after that, thy will be granted... Thy wish will be granted. Elbaf will be welcomed among the world government's member nations. And Harold's saying, let's have a toast. Welcome home, King Harold. I'm reading the chapter, but you can't spit like that while I'm reading the chapter, but you're right, okay? Thank you for the donations. I agree with you, my guy. If you've been here before, you know I agree with you, but thank you. Okay, we'll get back to that, but let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. Urus Castle. Huh? What did you just say, O great Imu? Use thy entire country to form an army of warriors. Yep. Thou wilt build a giant fleet to rival the navy and act for the benefit of the world. The benefit of the world. That is thy... Wait, no, stop. I have been doing all of this to help Elbaf escape the cycle of fighting. Of course, I have always intended to allow those who wish to enlist in the Navy to do so, but not like this. Who's His Majesty talking to in there? Oh, that's a really fucking good panel. The panel of Imu over Harold with like the hypnotism like mark. That's such a good panel. Thou saidst history would be atoned for. Thou saidst thou wouldst be a slave. Yes, but only myself. History is not so light that it can be shouldered by thee alone. Do not speak back. Thou canst not disobey Mu. Those who have accepted the Depth's covenant are given immortality and strength, but must obey orders in return. Think what thou wilt. I will have my way. Oh my god. I can't stop. I'm being controlled, and Elbaf with me. There was never any intent to bring us into the circle of the world. Damn you, Imu. I like that he said that. Oh, and he's tearing at his tattoo. I like that he said there was no intent to bring us into the circle. I'm telling you, man, Oda's getting tired. He's getting tired. He's like, I can't hold their hands anymore. I need them to know. I need them to know. I was thinking Nami as well, yeah. Guards to arms. Were you planning to make the warriors of Elbaf your slaves? What? What? Imu? No. What is it, your majesty? Is someone in here? Bring chains. Tie me to this pillar. What? Act quickly. Call Chief Yarrell and my sons. I'm pretty sure... Oh, that is so cruel. I'm pretty sure Hajrudin is out at sea right now. And Prince Loki is still in a cell for that thing he did. This is so unbelievably cruel. Oh, what a bum fucking dad. That is unbelievably cruel. I cannot resist. What's the matter, your majesty? Just release him. Hi, Loki. I missed you. I missed you, Loki. Oh, I didn't realize that was the last page. Underworld holding cells. You're freed, Loki. Report to Aurus Castle immediately. The king calls for you. Yarrell's house. Urgently. Just a moment, what could it be? But now, let us return to the story. On this day, there was a terrible massacre inside the castle, and the most beloved ruler in the history of Elbaf, wise King Harold, perished. And Loki took the fucking fall for it. He called for Loki? That's crazy. I'm calling Harold a bum for calling Loki there to stop him. That's why I'm calling him a bum. Because that's such a cruel thing to ask of your child. He called and both of them. The fact he's calling both of them is an issue. Like, this is not just Loki. But like, I understand because they're both strong, but like, your sons? That's just such a cruel thing, in my opinion. There's not many options, but it's just, that's still just cruel. I just think that's a cruel thing to do. Man. Garp, Roger, kill me. It is the same. It is similar. We are about to watch Imu once again cause the death of someone with their loved ones killing them. Loved ones or people they care about killing them. This is why I keep saying Imu is horrible. Like, Imu is fantastic for One Piece. Imu is a fantastic final villain antagonist for One Piece. I honestly was always confused about Blackbeard's position in One Piece, but I never fully was on board with Blackbeard being the final antagonist of One Piece. And the reason for that is because within the world of One Piece, there is someone who is causing issues within the world, and that is centered on Imu. Imu has always been the currently now the thing, the monster that has been causing these global issues to such an extent. Blackbeard is just a byproduct of Imu, right? In the same way, Doffy is a byproduct of Imu, although Blackbeard honestly had it worse than Doffy, and I will happily say that because Blackbeard was literally chained up as a slave and, segregate them because, like, who he is. I was never fully on board with Blackbeard being the final antagonist. And after God Valley, I am fully on board that Blackbeard is going to be redeemed. Like, Blackbeard is still going to have to pay for the shit he's done to a very heavy extent, but I think it's going to be similar to Arlong, in which Arlong hasn't exactly been redeemed, right? But now that we look at Arlong, we understand Arlong. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people, he's still an asshole. Yes, he's an asshole. He's a major asshole. However, because of Fishman Island, we go back to Arlong Park, we see what Arlong's doing, and we see exactly where that's coming from. Arlong was not the root cause of, like, the system of suffering in this world, right? Arlong wasn't the reason for slaves in the world. In the same way, Blackbeard isn't the reason for slaves in the world, but Blackbeard has slaves, right? Blackbeard is just copying the system. Blackbeard is copying what Imu is doing. I was never fully on board with Blackbeard being the final antagonist because it didn't make full sense to me. To me, it feels like Blackbeard is emulating what Imu is and emulating the powers of the world because he wants that power because of what that power did to him. And it's in a way of, like, evil, right? It's in a way of the two wrongs don't make a right type of deal, boys? You know what I mean? Like, the way people thought Rox was, Rox wants to take over the world because blah blah blah, and I keep saying I don't think that's what Rox wanted. I think Rox wanted to create a new world that was more freeing. Blackbeard went the other way. Blackbeard wants to create this new world, or wants a new world, but his world is the same as Imu's. It's caged, it's controlling, it's oppressive, because Blackbeard was caged and controlled and depressed, so he now wants to do that. He wants to continue that cycle, and of course that's not how shit works. That's not how you create a free world, you know? Never really saw a reason why Luffy would go out of his way to beat Imu. I'll give you a reason right now, because Imu controls people and makes their loved ones kill them. That is a reason. Do not forget, Luffy does not need a big reason to want to go after people. And you know why I know this? Because during Syrup Village, Usopp's arc, Kuro says to Luffy, why are you doing any of this? Why are you on this island? Why are you fighting me? Why are you, like, trying to defeat me? And Luffy says, because there are people on this island that I don't want dead. I don't want them to die. That's it. That's his reason. So long as Imu is killing people in an especially cruel way, like a horribly cruel way, I cannot elaborate just how cruel Imu's methods of destruction are, Luffy will want to go after them. No, I still think Blackbeard will be a villain, but I do not believe he is the final antagonist. I believe Blackbeard is a villain that is a showing. It's like, I believe Blackbeard is basically Arlong times Morbillion is what I think. I think Blackbeard is truly the showing of the creations of such an evil system, of what a system that Imu has created turns people into, what they create, the monsters they create, the cycle of violence and hatred that they create. That's what I believe Blackbeard is. That's why I believe Blackbeard will, in a sense, kind of get a redemption. I don't think it's going to be a full redemption in any way, because I don't think he deserves that. However, I do think it's going to be, look what the world has created. It's created Blackbeard. Look what Imu has created. Imu has created Blackbeard, right? In the same way Imu created Doffy. Doffy was a byproduct of the system that Imu withstands, basically. The reason Doffy exists is because Imu created and retains this system, right? That's what I think Blackbeard is. I think Blackbeard is going to be a showing of what Imu is creating. The evil shit that Imu is creating. What Imu does, the evil shit Imu does, runs off and creates more evil shit in the world. Blackbeard is one of them. Exactly, they're byproducts of the cruel world. You're still an asshole though if you're a cruel person in a cruel world, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Doffy, it wasn't Doffy and it's not Blackbeard. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that because of the system Imu creates, more bad things are created, right? Because of the bad system Imu upholds, more bad things are created. No, Sky, I don't think that is the case, because I believe Oda is a romantic, and by that we see again and again and again that Oda does indeed, in his story, he does like a final ending, or he does like a final resolution, such as Alabasta. There's still issues with Alabasta, but taking out Crocodile was the one thing they needed to do to save Alabasta. Taking out Enel was the one thing they needed to do to save Alabasta, right? I do think Imu is the end goal, right? The end of everything for One Piece, because Imu is the system. Imu is the reason we are in the world of One Piece right now. Imu's the reason everything is everything right now. Blackbeard, I do not believe is a showing of a continuous going, but I believe Oda is quite hopeful. He's a writer who's quite hopeful. Like, I do believe that he wants to write, like, things can be changed. There will still be, like, those after effects. They are still going to be there, but Blackbeard, I do not believe is going to be the final antagonist in that sense, because I think then it's like, okay, we beat Imu, now Blackbeard's here. Do you know what I mean? It sounds more to me that Blackbeard is going to be there to take out Imu. It sounds like Blackbeard is going to be either of help to Imu or of help to Luffy in some way. Like, I don't believe that Blackbeard will be the final antagonist, because Imu is the system and Blackbeard is a byproduct of the system. Like, that's what it feels like to me. Of course, I don't know what, again, I'm not Oda, I don't know what's going to happen, but the way Oda writes and the way he writes his endings is he does like I talked about it in my One Piece, the reality of fantasy video, where I talked about, this is not the way the world works. One Piece is not the way the world works, but wouldn't it be great if there was just one guy that centered all evil and Luffy could just punch them, right? Wouldn't that be fucking great? If that's how the world worked, there was just a guy that centered all the problems of a place and Luffy existed and could just punch them. Wouldn't that be nice? That's exactly the way Oda writes things. He still writes everything like thematically regarding like, these are all the problems we see. He will present all the problems. He'll show how these problems happen. He'll show how issues start. And instead of going about it in a, I want to say a politically realistic way, as in like the paper pushing and the ideas of like, oh, you know, what if we wait and do this and this and this? Luffy is there, so Luffy just punches. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, there's a hope in One Piece of, no, like Oda knows this is not how the world works, but wouldn't it be great if Luffy existed to just punch that fucking guy? Like, right? the reason I'm looking at Blackbeard and I just can't see him as a final antagonist is because of what we saw on God Valley. Is because we saw him as a slave and because we saw the segregate them shit, right? And it reminds me of Treble. And I know that's crazy. I know you guys are going, what the fuck, Treble? Treble was a slave. We know Treble was a slave because Treble had the chains on them. Treble was a slave that tried to abuse and use the same system that abused and used him, and guess what? That turned on him because Doffy didn't give a fuck about him. Doffy didn't give a shit about him. Doffy was using him. No matter how many people say Treble did this, Treble did that, Doffy was fucking smarter than that. He was using him, right? Treble was an idiot. And I know this because Law even said that. Law even said to Treble, you're not equal to Doffy. You're the only one that thinks that. Doffy does not think that. And Treble went, bah! But Law was fucking right, of course, because you know why? Because Doffy doesn't think he's equal to fucking anyone. Especially no one on the the normal plane. Does not think he's equal to anyone. And I believe there's a similarity to Blackbeard there. I do believe Imu will be the final iteration of it. The other reason I believe this is because there's an implication that Imu has been around for so fucking long. There's an implication that Imu has been around since the fucking first world, or whatever it was, on that mural. There's an implication that that was Imu. And then there's an implication that second time's the charm, that's Imu too, in the second world. Now there's the third one. The world has been in a state of peril and a state of disaster since Imu's existence. Everything is saying to me in this story that Imu is the center of oppression. Imu is the center of the world's destruction. Imu is the center of the reason the world is currently to shit. Because Imu's been around since the start. And Imu's been keeping things the same. Imu's been making sure the world cannot progress. They've been making sure there is no future because Imu wants Imu's world, right? What did Vegapunk say? Why are you so afraid of progress? Isn't that what Vegapunk said? Like, why are you so afraid of it? Of fucking course Imu's afraid of progress because progress means Imu is gone. Progress means Imu is destroyed. Progress means no more Imu. That's the way the world works as well. The more the world progresses, the more we like dismantle things that used to be there, such as like tradition, right? Tradition of I'm just going to say the way women should live their lives because we have progressed. I can be here talking to you guys and I can read, I can write, I can actually say my opinion without being burned at the stake, you know what I mean? That's what progress does. Progress evolves us. Imu's terrified of progress because progress will kill Imu, right? Which, that's why Vegapunk was such a threat as well. That's why the future was such a threat, you know? So when I look at One Piece and when I look at Imu, I do believe that Blackbeard will be a villain, but I am truly seeing that Imu is the reason the world is at this point, like just frozen in this point in time. Imu's the reason the One Piece world is just on fire, right? I think the only way Blackbeard would be the final antagonist is if Blackbeard and Imu together were fighting. And I'd love that because that would be Blackbeard has become the thing that made him a monster. Blackbeard has become the monster that Imu is. You know what I mean? I'd love that. I'd love for Imu to combine with Blackbeard. And it's literally the product of this evil system and the creator of this system creating one big monster, right? And this is what we have to get rid of. That would fucking rock, right? But I just do believe with every fiber of my being that Imu is not a cop-out. Imu really will truly be the end-all be-all of the world of One Piece. And Imu being destroyed is the creation of a new world to such an extent. Like, finally the evil is defeated, basically. You know what I mean? That's why he's so desperate to kill Nika. Exactly, because Nika is the future. Nika is the new dawn. Of course Imu's afraid of that, because Imu doesn't want a new dawn. But anyway, sorry, ramble. The reason Elbaf is interesting me so is because there is a question here of culture, right? There's a question here of what do we preserve within our culture? Because Harold is correct that there has been a history of violence that the giants have forced upon the world. And Harold is correct in we should be making up for that. We should be wanting to help people for the misery we caused throughout history, right? And when you think about where Oda's from, it's almost like something's being said here. But you know, maybe maybe that's a bit too woke of me. But but while Harold is saying all this, Ida is saying, well, you should treasure your culture. So I think there's a message, or there's a theme here in Elbaf regarding, yes, you should make up for what you and your culture have done, right? Regarding the past and regarding what you've done to the world as a culture and as a peoples. However, that doesn't mean you should lose your culture along the way. And I think that's an pretty decent message. I think that's okay to say. I think it's okay to say, yeah, there was some horrible shit that was done. Horrible war crimes that were done. But that doesn't mean somewhat like a country's culture should be totally removed. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I'm not just thinking of where Oda's from. I'm thinking of, like, you know, shit that the Romans have done back in the fucking, you know, BCs to ADs too, ADs too. And it's like the colonizations of peoples, right? Absolutely disgusting. Obviously they should make up for that. Like this is years and years and years ago, right? They should make up, like literally years ago, they should make up for that. History is to be learned from, but that doesn't mean you should lose and leave your culture along the way. Again, it's about what should we preserve? What points of our traditions and cultures should we preserve? Because Harold is literally saying to Ida, what about the fact that we couldn't marry, right? And Ida also must clearly agree with that. Like, yeah, that's stupid. So the conversation that's being had here is, yes, culture's important, but there's also traditions that we should be allowed to, like, that we should be dropping. There are traditions that should be phased out. Just because that is a tradition doesn't mean we should continue it in the modern age, right? And that's true. I do believe in that message. I think culture is a beautiful thing. I think culture is something that should be preserved in regards to what morally should be preserved, right? I do believe that's the message of this, because that's why I was so confused regarding Elbaf and regarding the kids are peaceful. And the Straw Hats, Luffy and Usopp, are like, oh god, they're not warriors anymore, this is so sad. And I'm like, I can't pick out what's going on here. Like, I can't pick out what exactly Oda is trying to say here. And it's like, the ones that want to preserve the culture should be able to preserve, at least I believe, the ones that want to preserve the culture should be able to preserve the culture. But of course, it's, again, where and what should be preserved. It, like, the violent sides should not be preserved, but the ones that want to move from that tradition and move from that culture should also be allowed to do that, because we have the Walrus School, we have the children that are educated, that want to learn, right? They should be allowed to do that too. They should not be forced to uphold tradition, you know, just because that's where they were born. At least I think that's what's being said here, because Harold is not supposed to be a bad guy. He's just supposed to be ignorant. But the fact that you have Ida saying to Harold, well, I like a warrior's pride. She's not from Elbaf. Literally just before that, she was saying, wow, Harold, you've really changed things, right? It really seems like a different country completely. So Ida's agreeing, Harold, you've done good things, but don't lose everything, right? I do think that's a nice message. I think that's a nice thing to say. And meanwhile, Harold has gone completely the opposite way. And Harold's attempts to atone have circled Elbaf back into being warriors for the world. You know what I mean? Like, because Harold is a bit blinded, I want to say, he has become a guinea pig for Imu, and now we're watching how that is ruining him. So we can see why Harold was so blinded by the world government and so blinded by, like, I keep saying Harold, I love One Piece because Harold, like, characters like Harold, they are hard. They are hard to truly find a moral ground on, because I can't say Harold's a bad guy, but I can say that he was quite ignorant. But I can see where that comes from, because I can see why he's got this desperation to join the world government. It's because he wants his people to have human rights, but he also wants his country to atone for the history of violence that they have forced upon the world. So he wants his people to have human rights, and he also wants that redemption, basically. But the only way he saw to get it was to join the world government, and of course that's just not going to work, because that's the leopards will eat your face party. The leopards are now eating his face. He's also stubborn. Exactly. He's also stubborn. This is why I look at Loki and I look at Hajrudin, and I believe that those two are going to be the new kings of Elbaf, because they both embody different sides of Elbaf. Hajrudin, I believe, very much embodies the, like, new, softer side of Elbaf, that educational side of Elbaf, while Loki embodies Elbaf's original traditions. And Loki is going to be an example of which tradition should we keep, because here's the thing, Loki is still soft. He is soft. Loki embodies Elbaf's traditions, but he's lost the, like, truly horrendous parts of Elbaf's traditions and Elbaf's culture, because he's soft. Like, the only thing we have seen him, who we've seen him kill, are the people that are like, haha, we poisoned Ida. And you know what? Fucking fair. I think he was allowed to kill those people. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy for that. That was totally fair. Of course he's allowed to kill those people. Fuck those guys. But we know Loki's soft because Shaggy, who might be Shirahoshi, said to Loki, I know when you say those things, you actually mean it from a good place in your heart. I know you're actually quite soft. Right? So I believe both Hajrudin and Loki embody different parts of Elbaf, but both of them will leave behind the violent traditions of Elbaf, and they'll hold Elbaf's culture, but they'll progress it while still keeping that culture, right? At least that's what I believe will happen. And I really like the fact that we have Ida and we have Saul on the island of Elbaf, because Ida and Saul by all means are immigrants of Elbaf. And Elbaf originally did not like those. Elbaf originally did not want those, but because of Saul and because of Ida, change has happened on Elbaf that would not have happened due to opening up Elbaf to the world and bringing different people with different perspectives into Elbaf. Like, Saul and Ida are not Elbaf giants. They have been able to change, right? There is an evolution of Elbaf because of the outsiders that they are bringing in. So again, it's a showing of culture is something to preserve, but it's a choice. You need to pick and choose what should we keep and what should we evolve from, right? At least, again, I believe that's what Elbaf is about. I don't know. I bet some of my favorite creators, Jorkshaw and Mama Jork, I bet they have a lot to say about this. Honestly, I should probably watch their chapter stream for this, because I bet Mama especially has so much to say about this. I bet she was very interested in this in the same way I am. They did, right? It would definitely be interesting to see what they said. They said here. Because it's just interesting, because you've got the outsider saying, well, I do like your culture, and you've got the insider saying, get rid of it. And then his horns have been torn, right? Even his horns have been torn. It's just an extreme. It's just a crazy extreme. Oh yeah, I know Jork sent out a tweet for me. He DM'd me. The apology. The whole village didn't deserve to die because of a few people with evil intentions. Was the whole village not all those like giants who were like, but you're one of us? Like, weren't they kind of the like supremacy giants? Am I wrong? Wasn't that whole area the supremacy giants? But you know, I might be wrong. But I'm pretty sure that's what they were. But I might be wrong. Still murder. Yeah, but they murdered Ida. Who cares? Who cares? After my mum dies. Anyway, some of these panels, by the way, are just fantastic. They are just fantastic. Like Imu's whole speech here is just, I have to read it again. Use thy entire country to form an army of warriors. Thou wilt build a giant fleet to rival the navy and act for the benefit of the world. Thou will build a giant fleet to rival the navy. Is very interesting because I feel like there's two ways you could read that. As in, you could read that as in Imu wants as many giants as there are the navy, or Imu knows they need more than just the navy. Do you know what I mean? No, I know. Loki's solution being murder is dangerous, but I think those people deserve to die. Whatever. I don't even care. I don't even care. Anyway. Sorry. Yeah. So what was I saying? An act for the benefit of the world. The benefit for the world is so like, because the world is Imu. This is what I mean. Imu does not fucking care about the benefit of the world. Imu cares about the benefit of what they want. Imu cares about upholding Imu's status quo. That is not the benefit of the world. Imu is the world, probably, right? Probably. Can you tell me the proper meaning translation of what Imu said? Where are you confused? Sorry, please do. I can happily explain it to you, but thou and thy is just like you. Like, hang on. Like, use thy entire country. So use your entire country. Thou will build a giant fleet. You will build a giant fleet to rival the navy. It's just like you, basically. Like, he's just saying you and you. It's just fancy pants language because Imu speaks dangerously and fancily, you know? Anyway, thou saidest history would be atoned for. See, that's just... Thou saidest history would be atoned for. Thou saidest thou wouldst be a slave. History is not so light that it can be shouldered by thee alone. This is what I mean. Imu is weaponizing Harold's guilt because Harold is in the right regarding I want to atone for what Elbaf has done. Harold is correct, and we know Harold is correct because of how Elbaf is, because of who Hajrudin is, right? But Imu doesn't give a fuck about what the giants have done. Imu doesn't care. Imu just wants to use Harold's guilt and Elbaf's guilt to create more violence, right? So imagine if Harold went through with this. Imagine if Harold went through with this, and imagine if Harold created that army of giant slaves that Imu wanted. How would the giants then be seen in the future? Exactly the same. they'd be seen exactly the same as they currently already are seen, which is violent, oppressive, and cruel, right? So Imu is basically telling Harold to repeat history, and Harold's going, what are you talking about? What I'm doing is to stop the repetition of history, is to stop the violence of the giants. But Imu is trying to guilt trip the fuck out of him and is trying to use Harold's basically historical guilt to repeat the fucking cycle. So Imu knew that there was an issue with Harold regarding Harold wanting peace. Imu knew there was an issue with Elbaf wanting peace because Imu can't use that. But Imu knew they could use Harold's guilt to create a new army and repeat the cycle of giant violence, right? But Harold's saying no, because Harold, while being misguided and ignorant, still knows what he wants Elbaf to be. So Imu truly thought they had Harold at that point, and Harold, luckily I want to say, realized at that moment this is not what he wanted to be, because he stood on his morals, right? It sounds like a death cult. It is a death cult. Now, sorry, let me go up to what everyone was saying. This is a really good chapter. Fuck, I love One Piece. God, I love One Piece. I'll never forget going to that barbecue and talking about One Piece with someone, and there was someone there that was like listening to us, and he was like, I've never really seen One Piece. I just like hearing people talk about the politics of One Piece. And you know what? He's fucking right. I think most people could jump in on this stream, not know what the fuck, like what media I'm talking about, and still be like, wow, these are interesting things to be said. You know what I mean? Because there's a realism here. You know what I mean? There's still a reality that we're talking about in how One Piece is written and what it is messaging. You know what I mean? Even if people don't want to agree with that. Now let's go up. Sorry, I'm currently going to the fan funding. Wow, I got a lot of you today. So, first of all, thank you, Dragon. So someone said, Fuji Admiral in 2 years abolished state-sanctioned piracy and Garp allowed it to cultivate. Things got worse, if anything. This was said by Awesome8636. First of all, thank you for the donations. Second of all, I agree with you. We've talked about this, okay? We've talked about this. I can't get into Garp because he frustrates me too much. He frustrates me too much. But I agree with you, okay? I totally agree with you. You'll find not too many people here that would not agree with you, because I'm the same as you. I do believe that Garp has not been doing enough. I do believe that what he's doing currently is not enough. And I think it's the coward's way out, personally, to be like, oh, well, what can I do? I'm just gonna say, oh, my son's a fucking revolutionary. Because Garp wasn't happy about Dragon being a revolutionary. Please remember that. That's what really pisses me off. That is what pisses me off. When Dragon became a rev, Garp was like, I can't believe my son became a revolutionary. You can't believe your son? You can't believe that, Garp. Like, you can't, you racked your fucking brain and you can't believe that your son became a rev. Really? Really? That's what people fucking forget, and that's why it peeves me that people are like, oh, Garp is just helping Dragon. No. Garp outwardly said he cannot believe that his son became a rev. Like, guys, come on. It's just like, this man is stuck. He's stuck in a hole. Anyway, yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so we talked about Imu, kind of agree, never really saw a reason why Luffy would go out of his way to beat Imu, so we talked about that. One Piece has always been pirates versus pirates. Sorry? One Piece has always been pirates versus pirates. That is just not true. That is unbelievably not true. Like, that is so unbelievably untrue. I'm not sure where you got that from. Yes, there are pirates versus pirates, but it's so much more than that. Luffy has fought more than just pirates. That is not true. I'm unsure where that perspective has come from. And BB's introduction to Luffy also set them up as opposites. See, I agree. Blackbeard's introduction to Luffy has also set them up as opposites. I agree with you. I agree that there's going to be, like Blackbeard and Luffy are both rocketing towards a new world, and their new worlds are different things. But there is no indication to me that Blackbeard will be the end-all be-all of who Luffy fights just because he's a pirate. Just because he's a pirate is a little bit insane, especially regarding who Luffy fought in Egghead. Remember who Luffy took on in Egghead, and I do believe Egghead is setting up to the final stages of who Luffy's final opponents and who Luffy's final, like, hurrah will be. That was the Elders. Don't forget that. The Elders are the big fucking, like, big chunguses of the world government. Luffy literally faced the world government head on in Egghead, and he struggled. I will never forget telling people how much he struggled. I hate when people ignore the fact that he would not have gotten out of that situation were it not for Emmet. If Emmet were not there, it's very possible he would not have been able to get away with his crew, because the Elders were not stopping. Luffy even brought that up. They were not stopping. And then Emmet went hockey bomb. And then whoop, there it goes. Right? Luffy needed tons of help. The way I am seeing One Piece being set up currently is we are finally being introduced to the big chunguses of the world. We are being introduced to the last big fuckers of this world, and that's the Elders and the Holy Knights. And Imu. They are scary. These are the final monsters, the final beasts that will be taken on, and they are the world government, right? So QB, I love your insights, but I'm truly not sure where you got this. It's always been pirates versus pirates thing, because that's just simply not true. It's never just been pirates versus pirates. It's been part of it, but it's definitely not the case, you know? Especially one of the very beginnings of One Piece when Kobe was there. It was Alvida, but it was also the Marines, right? It was Axe-Hand Morgan. That was a huge... That was Zoro's introduction. The Marines are a problem, basically, right? Anyway. But, yeah. Look, now we know. Now we've been educated. Okay, now from QB again. Small question. Is the Dawn of the World a fandom term or actually said in manga? Because it just seems very un-One Piece-like. The new Dawn, the new world, Dawn of the World, I'm not exactly sure what context that's being said in, but, like, the new Dawn is a One Piece thing. I'm not... Why do you think that's on One Piece like, QB? That's very One Piece like, in my opinion. In Wano, they literally talk about there being a new dawn because of Luffy taking out Kaido. Joy Boy is surrounded by... Nika is surrounded by... They will bring about a new dawn. Kuma quite literally talks about that to Bonnie. Kuma says Nika, Joy Boy, will bring about a new dawn. A Dawn of the World. Again, QB, I'm asking, why do you think that's un-One Piece-like? That's incredibly One Piece-like. A new dawn means a new world. And a lot of One Piece is about trying to get to that new world, because we are currently stuck in a oppressive system that is helping barely anybody, right? One Piece has hugely been about... like, the second half of the Grand Line is literally called the New World. And it's called the New World because it probably indicates that this is where the New World begins, right? And Romance Dawn. That too. Her last speech literally exists. Again, QB, absolutely love your insights, but I'm unsure why you think that is on One Piece like. A New Dawn is incredibly One Piece like. Luffy consistently brings about new dawns for different islands, for Alabasta, for Skypiea, right? For Nami's own village, right? For Robin alone, for God's sake, he brought about a new dawn for her. For Brooke and for everyone in Thriller Bark, mind you, everyone who lost their shadows in Thriller Bark, he brought about a literal new dawn for them. They could see the sun again because of him. For the fishmen as well, for Dressrosa, for the Minx. Sorry, my arcs for the Minx as well, for Sanji. And I say for Sanji because the storm happened, Luffy punched Sanji, and the sky cleared when Sanji had confessed what was really happening, right? For Katakuri, for a lot of people, for Pudding as well, even though Luffy wasn't directly involved in the Pudding stuff, it was also for Pudding. For Wano too, for Bonnie and Kuma and Egghead, for even Vegapunk and Egghead. Luffy consistently brings up like new dawns to people. Literally, he makes the sun rise another day for people. Like, that's what he is, that's what he does. It's always, One Piece, in my opinion, has always been about a new dawn. Has always been about, like, Luffy changing the world. So, I mean, there you go. Just, if you, like, I would recommend looking back on One Piece, especially Skypiea. Fuck, Skypiea was so good for it. Look back on Skypiea or just every arc with that in mind, and you'll see exactly what I'm saying, because it's, I think the opposite. It's very One Piece-like to talk about a new dawn. Anyway, Mel, you always are cooking. Will we ever get chapter reviews? Yes, the chapter reviews will come back. The only reason I haven't been making chapter reviews as of late is because I've been way too busy. As you've seen, I've been moving. I have moved. I'm now in this new area. I will be getting back to chapter reviews after I make my current video that I hope I get out before Christmas. It's going to be so... I'm gonna be cracked if I get that out before Christmas, because it's gonna be heavy. I still haven't finished the script. I should be getting the script done tomorrow. But it's, as always, it's gotten so much longer than... I'm sick of it, guys. I'm sick of it. I try to pace myself, but I cannot stop fucking talking. I just can't stop talking. So, the new video is probably gonna be a fucking hour. It's probably gonna be an hour. I just cannot stop. It just doesn't work. So yeah, there you go. You'll find out. The new video, it's about First Mate stuff, because I'm sick of it. The idea for my new video is, because guys, I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. I'm sick of asking people who is the first mate in the Straw Hats, and they actually say a character. I'm done with it. I'm just done with it. I want this video to be the video that when people argue about the first mate shit, they can link my video. This is the goal. It's the biggest misconception in all of One Piece, and it pisses me off, and I'm done with it. I need people to actually understand the way the Straw Hats work. Trust the live action on this one? Yes, they deserve it. For calling some, like, Zoro the first mate, having Luffy call someone the first mate in the live action is horrible. Blame the live action. I don't just blame the live action. People were doing this before the live action, long before the live action. But the live action made it a fucking more billion times worse. A more billion times worse. I literally, like, I just drooled. I feel crazy. I feel crazy. I just feel crazy. It makes me fucking crazy. I just can't, it just makes me nuts. Oda approved the live action, and then Oda also approved Sanji grabbing Zoro's big, long, sharp sword that was perfect in length. So there you go. There you go. Oda directly looked at those storyboard panels and said, yup, that's great. Make Sanji grab Zoro's big, fat fucking sword. Make Zoro give Sanji his big, fat fucking sword. Some of you are saying, what the fuck are you talking about? Food Wars Sanji. Food Wars Sanji was not only approved by Zoro or by Oda, but looked over by Oda. Like, they literally have the creators of that saying, yeah, Oda looked over all the storyboards and gave us notes on what to do in this. So there you go. I've just had it. Anyway, that's the hint. It's a big hint. It's a big hint. And the last thing I got was sounds like a death cult, and I assume this sounds like a death cult was the world government. Yeah, it's a death cult. It's a death cult. It is a death cult. It truly is. It's I mean, the way it works is Imu can just kill you whenever Imu wants, you know? Oda approves Sanji being tied up. Oda has like actively like that's not Oda approved. That is Oda written. That's Oda like, hello, Black Maria? That's not Oda Oda approved, man. That is Oda, like made. Like, he just did not just approve that. He's the founder of Sanji being tied up. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please make a video of how all the Straw Hats are equally loyal, not just Zoro. Please, I hate how they hype Zoro just for loyalty. God, that pisses me off too. That really pisses me off. Listen, I talk about, again, I'm not... The
world will end soon, and I could see as the sea rises to red line levels, the government and pirates chase the Straw Hats to Laughtail. Kobe, Luffy, and Blackbeard fighting over the One Piece, then, have to deal with Imu.
Now, you said the world will end soon, and I thought you meant like ours, like real, and I was really scared. Milkshake of Doom. I was like, you are you are actively scaring the shit out of me. Okay, hang on. Thank you for the donation though. That $1 will buy me a Twix bar. The world will end soon, and I could see as the sea rises to redline levels, the government and pirates chase the Straw Hats to Laughtail. Kobe, Luffy, and Blackbeard fighting over the One Piece, then have to deal with Imu. What about Buggy? What about Buggy? Excuse me? You know what's happening? Kobe, Luffy, and Blackbeard fight over the One Piece. Buggy also wants the One Piece, and Shanks is going, Buggy! Oh my god, it's good to see you! That's exactly it. That's what's happening. Robin chose her friends over the world, yet fans label her betrayed the crew. Oh, you know who else they say that for? Starts with an S, ends with a G. Oh boy! Ooh. They say that about Sanji as well, and oh my god, it makes me want to fucking jerk someone! Sanji's not loyal, look how he kicked Luffy! Use your brain! Use your brain! You have one! I know you have one! Why the fuck do you think Sanji was hitting Luffy? Oh, because he wanted to. Because he just hated him. He's just not loyal. Sanji went through hell. He went through hell. He went through his own hell. He was ready to die because he wanted the Straw Hats to be safe. He's done that multiple times, by the way. He hasn't just done that in fucking Whole Cake Island. He did that in fucking Drum Island when Luffy and Nami were getting caught in the avalanche, and he went, well, guess I'm gone. Guess I'm dead. And that pissed Luffy the fuck off. And Luffy was like, don't fucking do that. Does anyone remember that? I remember that so well. I remember that so well because I remember Luffy's anger in that moment. I remember Luffy's like reaching for Sanji and saying, don't fucking do that. He said, you tell me when you do that. Yeah, don't do stuff like that without telling me. He was mad that Sanji was trying to be the sacrificial lamb. I'll never forget that shit. I will never forget that shit in my life, because that's when I was like watching One Piece, like one of the first times, and I was like paying attention to Sanji because he was stuck in my brain and I really liked him, and that happened and I went, fuck, I like him a lot because he's damaged. There is a mental illness in there and I know I'm gonna see it. And I was right. There is a lot of mental illness in Sanji and it's just fantastic. But he did that in Drum Island. He did that in Skypiea. He did that in Thriller Bark. He arguably did that in Water 7 because he was ready to die on that train to get Robin back as well. This man has been a sacrificial lamb ever since he was a wee bab. Ever since he was a wee bab who survived only because Zeph ate his own leg for him. He's always been the sacrificial lamb. And I face idiots. I face morons who say Sanji's not that loyal. I'm gonna kill you. Like, I'm fucking after you. If you say that, I'm after you specifically. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Anyway, Yeah, no, that trait of loyalty. I was talking about this in I've talked about this before. Zoro's loyalty is big, it's huge. But I think what people get confused about is they see Zoro's protection of the crew and following of Luffy, and they say he's the most loyal to Luffy specifically. And that pisses me off because that really pushes like that blinds people to Zoro's actual heart. Are you understanding what I'm saying? I hate this. Zoro's loyalty to Luffy specifically is big and fat because that removes the fact that Zoro has a huge heart. Zoro loves so deeply. And people don't see that because all they see is him being a fucking dog for his captain. And that's not him. He's not just a dog for his captain. Exactly. Zoro has disagreed with Luffy multiple times. It's not Zoro's loyalty to Luffy. It's his love for his crew. The reason I hate this loyalty to Luffy shit that people talk about with Zoro is it acts like Zoro doesn't care about the majority of the crew. Or Zoro's kind of meh about the crew. It sounds like Zoro's only there because Luffy is there. He's kind of meh about everyone else. Shut the fuck up. Zoro loves his crew. He'll do anything for his crew. His crew is why he gets stronger. It's not just because of Luffy. Luffy is the crew. He's part of the crew, right? And it drives me nuts because people hone in on his loyalty and they hone in on his loyalty to Luffy. And it's like, what about the fact he loves? What about the fact he has a crew and a family that he loves? What about the fact that he is loyal to everyone on the crew because he loves them so much? People look at what he said about Usopp in Water 7 and they go the other way with it. They go, oh, Zoro hates Usopp. No, Zoro loves Usopp. But the thing is, he needs to know Usopp has that same love for him and for his crew. That's how much he loves this crew. He is not going to half-ass his fucking life for people that will just walk away. He's not doing that. And he's not doing that because he loves them. He loves them. Thank you for honking them. No, he deserves it. He deserves it. I hate the way people talk about Usopp and Zoro in that moment because it pisses me off because people act like Zoro hates Usopp. Zoro hates Usopp's disloyalty. No, he's upset. He's upset because he needs the crew to know how much he loves them and he needs to know they love the crew just as much as he does. He needs to know that because this is who he's laying his life down for. Why do you guys think that in Zoro was pissed? Really think about this. Why do you think that when he found out Sanji up and left and said, see ya, I'm leaving for a woman, why do you think that pissed him off so bad? Why do you think he was like, fuck him, screw him, get rid of him, we don't need him anyway? Why do you think that was the case? Why? Because he just didn't like Sanji? He just didn't like him, he just wanted him gone? No, you bitch. You dumb bitch. It's because he cares about the guy. He actually really cares about him. He has laid down his life for this guy multiple times and suddenly he's left. Wouldn't that hurt you? Would you not feel betrayed and hurt if someone you loved who you have laid down your life for just suddenly left a note and vanished without asking for help? Zoro is the first mate. Gabon says it in the arc. I think that's rage bait. I think that's bait. That's bait. He doesn't say that in the arc, by the way, if you're serious, but that's bait. Anyway. I can smell the mental illness. Love your stream otherwise, but these noise notification things make it impossible for me to enjoy them. I'm sorry. Listen, thank you for the sub. You fucking forgot me in the basement when you moved, you asshole. Enjoy it back there. Sorry, you're gonna be staying down there for a long time. Listen, it's a privilege
Howdy do, boys.
It's quite explicit. Oh, you're not baiting. Okay, well, you will have to watch my video then. You will surely have to watch my video. It's quite explicit. It's quite explicit. That is so interesting because I do not remember Gaban ever looking at Zoro and calling him the first mate. You know what I do remember Gaban doing? Mouthing off at Zoro and saying, "What the fuck is your problem?" I remember that. I sure as fuck remember that. But I do not remember him ever calling Zoro the first mate. He said, "Get your shit together." Because he's the first mate. No, because he has fucking Conqueror's Haki. Because he has Conqueror's Haki and he didn't even know he had it. And Gaban was like, "What the fuck is your problem? Gaban has Conqueror's Haki. Does that make Gaban the first mate of Roger?" No, because that was Rayleigh. What are you talking about? He's mouthing off at Zoro because he knows that this boy has Conqueror's Haki and Gaban himself knows how to use Conqueror's Haki. And he's going, "What the fuck are you doing?" It's literally get your cock under control. This is why this perception of Zoro is pissing me off so bad. There's fucking no one that calls Zoro the first mate in the crew. The only person that has ever called Zoro the first mate is Bartolomeo. He's the only one. No, Arouge never called him that. Never called him that. That was a mistranslation. What Arouge said was Zoro's second to Luffy because of their bounties. Fucking no one has ever called Zoro the first mate within the crew. Zoro's never called himself the first mate. You think if Zoro were the first mate, he'd use that against Sanji? Don't you think he'd be like, haha, haha, I'm the first mate, you have to listen to me? Don't you think he'd use that against him? He fucking never does. You know why? Because he's not the fucking first mate. Like, you have made it up. You've made it up. He's not the first mate. This isn't a thing. He's not at all. Usopp the first mate. Why would Arouge saying that even matter? He's a random. I don't know, guys. I just don't know. Zoro, get your leaking cock under control. Anyway, lost in translation. Oda consistently draws a direct structural lineage between Roger, Rayleigh, and Luffy. He actually doesn't do that. What he's drawing is the wings and their captain. Luffy does not have a first mate. He doesn't have a first mate. Just because Roger has one doesn't mean Luffy has one. Why is this something that is so hard for people to understand? You know how you know how Rayleigh like is quite literally introduced as the first mate, and you know how Roger calls Rayleigh his first mate, and you know how Rayleigh calls himself the first mate. Can you please point to where Zoro has ever done that? To where Luffy has ever done that? To where he's ever introduced as such? Where has that ever happened? It's never fucking happened. That has never happened. There is more evidence to suggest that he isn't that than there is evidence to suggest that he is that. It just doesn't exist. Oda, you know what's funny? Oda even said Zoro's not the first mate. Why are we having this discussion? Oda literally said that. When he made, you know that art that he made of like Zoro on the cover with Rayleigh and Ben and Beppo and Sabo and blah 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 blah. You want to know what Oda said in that SBS? He said, "No, this is not a first mate spread. Zoro does not have that title." He said, "People on this, not everyone here has the first mate title, including Zoro." He literally, why? How can we possibly argue this? The author himself said Zoro's not the first mate. Like, how are we arguing this? This is what gets me. I literally am telling you, this is what the author said. The author said, no, Zoro does not hold the role of first mate. And you're telling me, yes, he does. What are we talking about? Like, actually, what are we talking about? It's driving me nuts. This is exactly why does it matter so much, by the way? Because of crew dynamic. You will find out when I make my first mate video. The reason this matters so much is because first mate is hierarchical. First mate on a crew implicates authority. When you have a first mate, you have someone who is second in command. And I find that offensive for the Straw Hats. I think it's ridiculous to say the Straw Hats function like that there is a definitive second in command, as if there's someone Luffy trusts more than the others. That's fucking bogus. That is totally bogus. Like, are we understanding? Luffy has not looked at a single person on the crew and gone, you, I trust more than the rest of them. Everyone is going to turn to you specifically when I'm not here. He's not fucking done that, and he's never going to do that. That is not how the Straw Hats work. The Straw Hats don't work like that. They are equals. People, what I was going to say is what I've discovered in this fandom is people are obsessed with hierarchy. They're obsessed with it. There needs to be a hierarchy. They treat the Straw Hats like there's a corporate ladder. They treat the Straw Hats like there's sections, there's groups, like there's the captain, yes, but then there's the second in command. So there's the CEO, then there's the vice CEO, right? Or the co-director, and then there's the crew, the production crew, and then there's the paper pushers. That's how they treat the crew. They treat the crew like there's like groups, hierarchical groups that are being followed. That is not how the Straw Hats work. The only hierarchy that is on the crew is Luffy as the captain, and even Luffy will sometimes get the shit beaten out of him and get overruled at points, right? The only person on the crew who has any hierarchical control is Luffy. Not even he really fully pushes that. No, he didn't. When Luffy was about to compromise his authority to take Usopp back without an apology, he listened to Zoro and only Zoro. Oh, I'm so glad you brought it up, because no, the fuck he didn't. He actively wanted to not listen to Zoro. And you know who did then convince Luffy? Zoro's right. It was fucking Sanji. It was Sanji. Reread that again. Zoro was telling them what should be happening. Zoro even threatened to leave the crew if Luffy didn't listen to him. And Luffy didn't want to listen to him. No one wanted to listen to him except for Sanji. Sanji was the only character in that moment that said, actually, he's right. And then Luffy sat down and had to listen. Reread that part right now. Right now. It wasn't Zoro that he was specifically listening to. It was everyone. It was his wings. Sanji literally says he's right. He's the only one that agrees with Zoro in that moment. And then that makes everyone else go, oh. I love when people bring that up because I get to pull the Sanji card. I love it. I just love it. And you know what? What's crazy? When I bring up the fact that Sanji kicked the shit out of Luffy for what he said to Usopp, everyone ignores it. They all ignore it. So Zoro reprimanding Luffy is a sign of the first mate. But when Sanji reprimands Luffy, guys, that's nothing. That's nothing. That's just Sanji being an emotional. Oh, he's an emotional man. He's just emotional. Are you seeing what I'm talking about? Zoro is not the only person on the crew that has reprimanded Luffy. He isn't. You just think his opinion matters more because you see him as someone who has more authority than other people on the crew. He doesn't. The way the crew works is they listen to each other. Sanji kicked the shit out of Luffy because he knew Luffy was out of line. He knew what Luffy was about to say was ridiculous. Voltacon, you are fucking ridiculous. Thank you, Voltacon. I really appreciate it. Sorry, you've got me riled up because I love this topic and this is why this video needs to be made. It's exactly why this video needs to be made because I get stuff like that. I get questions like that. And it's like, you're wrong. That is not how it works. That is not how the crew works. Zoro's not the only one to have reprimanded Luffy, and he's not the only one Luffy has listened to. That is not how it works. Mel, I have a friend who hates Hody Jones and says he is the worst character ever made. I would love to hear your opinion on the matter, and why do you think my friend thinks that? Congratulations on your new accomplishment and have a happy new chapter. I'm sorry, why? I don't know why the gift sub has a Sanji moaning constantly. I don't know what's going on. Zoro was the only one who looked past the feelings of the moment and protected the captain's authority. No, because Sanji did that too. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Sanji did that too. This is what I mean. Zoro was not the only one. It's not like Sanji was, yeah, let's get Usopp back. And then he went, oh, Zoro's right. No, reread that chapter. Reread it. Sanji literally says he heard Usopp. Sanji followed Zoro's lead. And Luffy didn't. Hang on. If Luffy's not following Zoro's lead, because he's not. Luffy's not listening to what Zoro's saying in that moment. But then he listens to Zoro once Sanji says something. What does that mean? Please explain to me what that means. So Luffy's not listening to Zoro there. He doesn't want to listen to him. Sanji then speaks up. Then Luffy listens. I know the Sanji moans are distracting. Sorry, I don't know why that happened. I thought I fixed that. Democracy. Thank you. Why is it doing that? I fixed that. I'm not sure why it's moaning so much. Hang on, I gotta mute that. So, Volticon, I really appreciate it. I have no idea what's going on there. I really don't know why that happened. Anyway. No, it's okay, Volticon. I thought I fixed that. That should have been Luffy. Anyway. There it is, the crew hierarchy. There it is, the crew hierarchy. There you go. No such thing. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. That's what I'm saying. There's an obsession with crew hierarchy. It simply doesn't exist. The only hierarchical role in the crew is Luffy. And even that gets vetoed sometimes. This is what I'm saying. That is the obsession. That is the obsession with crew hierarchy. Just you're obsessed with it. People look at the Straw Hats like they're a marine fleet. They aren't. Luffy's crew is his family. There is no hierarchy. You want there to be one because you personally respect Zoro's authority more. You respect Zoro's authority more than you respect Sanji's. Oda absolutely cultivates a crew hierarchy both narratively and symbolically. No, he doesn't. What he cultivates is crew protection. He doesn't cultivate sir, yes sir. That is not what he cultivates at all. He does not cultivate everyone listens to directly one person. That's not what he does. He doesn't cultivate everyone turns to one person. And you want to know why I also know this is the truth? Think about what Zoro did in 1.0. What the fuck did he do in 1.0? What should a first mate be doing? A first mate should be leading the crew when the captain's not there. Was Zoro doing that in 1.0? No. And you know why I know that? Because Luffy even said, I bet Zoro's not doing anything. Luffy said that. He said that. This is in the story. The definition of a first mate, there it is, it finally happened. The definition of a first mate is they command the crew when the captain isn't there. Do you want to know the only character who has actually commanded the crew when Luffy wasn't there? I'm not going to say his name, but you all know who it is. He even got his own name for the crew when he was commanding the crew when no one else was, when Luffy was not there. Right? And that's what gets me. That's what gets me. It's fine if you want to believe Zoro's the first mate. It's not the case. Even Oda has said that. Again, how are we arguing this? Oda said it's not the case. He literally said that. The author's own word of mouth is Zoro does not have the role of first mate. That's his own word of, like, that's what he said. So how can you possibly still argue this? I don't understand. I really don't understand. That is where the argument should stop. And yet people keep going. Why? Why are you still going? Why are you still arguing it when the author himself has said that's not the case? I don't even think Sanji's the first mate, by the way. I don't even think he's anywhere near the first mate. In the same way, I don't think Zoro's anywhere near the first mate. It just doesn't exist. It simply doesn't exist. Nami is commanding them even when Luffy is around. Yeah, when they're navigating. Chopper took charge on Zoro in the aftermath of Jack's attack. Is he the first mate now? Chopper also commanded Zoro around. In Onigashima, when a virus took hold and he had to make an antidote, Chopper was telling Zoro what to do. Chopper said, Zoro, you have to go get this. Zoro, you have to go do that. And Zoro said, yeah, I'll do that for you. This idea of a crew hierarchy actually drives me nuts because I'm going to, like, I say this with all the respect in the world. It is such a man way of looking at things. And yes, Oda's a man, but that's why the Straw Hats are so healthy. That's why the idea of the Straw Hats is so nice. It's so sweet because they are equals. They are total equals with each other. They are such a healthy crew because there is no hierarchy. Because the only hierarchy that does exist is Luffy, and even Luffy still has to listen to his crew. That's why they are so healthy. Which is why I'm so passionate about this, because I think the Straw Hats can be a fantastic message for people regarding their friends and their families, right? Especially their friends. I think it can be a fantastic message regarding who you should be with and what you should cultivate within, like, your friend groups in your lives. And yet people still will say, no, there's still a 1-2 of who people are listening to. And it's like, I'm going crazy. I'm going absolutely crazy. Anyway, this is why, look, this is proven to me. This is why this video needs to be made. People are still going to fight it. Even though I talk about it in the video, it's just people cannot let go of Zoro being the first mate. Even though Zoro's got the leadership skills of maybe an okay guy. Like, he's, because here's the thing, Zoro's made horrible mistakes regarding, what they should be doing. He was wrong about Loki, by the way. I'm just reminding everyone of that. He literally needs to be reeled in the same way Luffy needs to be reeled in sometimes. Remember when Sanji in Elbaf grabbed Zoro's neck and said, you're not going anywhere? Remember how that pissed so many people off? Anyone remember that? That pissed people off because they think Zoro's got more authority. Remember when Usopp told Zoro, no, do not fight the giants? Remember when that pissed people off? Again, that pissed people off because people think Zoro has more authority. If you read the story with the idea that Zoro has more authority in the crew, you're going to have a horrible fucking time. There are multiple times where people tell Zoro, the crew tells Zoro, don't do that. Stop doing that. We're not doing that. Don't go over there. Don't go over here. We're going over here now. And Zoro goes, yeah, okay. If you read the story with the idea that Zoro has more authority, you're fucked. Because that's not how this shit works. You are going to be mad. You are going to be upset because there's going to be more moments where Usopp says to Zoro, don't do that. Or, no, we're not doing that. Like, that's gonna keep happening. Right? He's a wing. Exactly. Zoro and Sanji are the wings, right? They are the wings of the pirate crew. That doesn't mean anything hierarchy-wise. It just means that they protect the crew. They love the crew. They will help lift Luffy up, and so they will help lift the crew up. But they are not going to specifically listen to Zoro and Sanji, right? Just because they're the wings. It's Sanji propaganda. No, it's Zoro and Sanji are equals propaganda. It's Zoro is equals with the crew propaganda. It is so funny that when I try and say Zoro is equals with the crew, it turns into this is anti-Zoro propaganda. That always happens. It always happens. It's just the inability to see Zoro as an equal amongst his crew, right? The inability to see him amongst his crew as he is. He needs some special kind of title. He needs a pedestal to be put on. He's already a wing. Why is that not enough? Right? He's already a wing and he loves his crew. It's equals. It's literally just equals. I just don't understand. It's like every time, the reason a lot of people think I don't like Zoro is because I talk like this and then they think, oh, she's trying to put Zoro down. No, I'm trying to tell you guys that Zoro sees him like he's an equal amongst his crew. They all see each other as equals among the crew. The idea that he has this authority is just wrong. It's just so wrong. I do have 2 Sanji plushies, that is true. And just look, again, the Straw Hat dynamic is so important to me. There's a value of a specific type of masculine strength that puts him above the rest of the crew for some people. Yeah. That's certainly it. That is certainly it. Yep, that is certainly it. His big Bahu bars. Again, this is why the video, it needs to be made, because again, I keep encountering this opinion, even though again, the author himself has said, no, that's not the case, and people still fight it. And I'm like, I have to make the video, because it's like, why are we still having this discussion when the author has said, no, he's not the first mate? It's just crazy. The lack of an explicit job title. Yeah, you're just gonna have to wait for the video, because I just don't think I personally don't think you're paying attention to Zoro, but you know, whatever, I guess, whatever. The video will clear everything up. It'll clear everything up, you know? It'll certainly, hopefully, make everyone understand, because it's just been driving me nuts. It's been driving me crazy. Zoro's had a role ever since his addition to the crew. He's had a role for 25 years, over 25 years, and the reason people refuse to accept it is because they don't think it's good enough. That's it. They just don't think it's good enough. Okay, whatever, I guess. Zoro sure seems to think it's fine. He thinks it's good enough. No, this is real hair. It's real. It's just funny because it's true. Oh, it's true. Agendas are over facts. It's true. Facts. It's true. Agenda doesn't care about facts. That is very true. You're right. I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Yeah, fuck Sanji. You know what? Fuck Sanji. You're right. He's just nothing. He's nothing. You're so true. You're so right about that. You're right about that. Yeah. No, I look, agenda tells me I should hate Sanji, so I hate Sanji. Yeah, go Zoro! The image of Sanji being a cheerleader. Yay! So true, so true. I really, listen, the video that I'm currently making, I just want people to understand. It's all I want. It's all I want. I just want people to understand. It's been driving me, it just drives me nuts. It drives me so crazy. Thoughts on Law making up his backstory? What a loser. Right? What a loser. Can't believe he did that. Make us feel bad for him. Don't got one of those. But yeah. Again, the reason it matters so much to me is because I believe the Straw Hat dynamic is just so healthy. I think it's so healthy, and I think it's it's just, I think if you see the Straw Hat dynamic for what I believe it is, and you apply that to your own friends and your own life, you are going to have a very, like, happy life. You're going to have such a valuable circle of friends. I just see the Straw Hats and I truly see loved ones, right? I do not see a corporate ladder when I look at the Straw Hats. I do not see ranks, because I think that ruins them. It really ruins them. Like, that's why I'm so passionate about it. It has to be bait. You've got to be baiting me. It's got to be bait. No, it's bait. I know it's bait. That's bait. That's bait. Anyway, I see what you're doing. You're trying to make me reveal my whole video. The Stinkman agenda, it's still there. It's still there. I still believe in the Stinkman. They'll come back. They'll come back. They'll come back. I promise you they'll come back. I promise you they'll come back. Oh my god. Synergy! So true. I miss the Stinkman. I really miss them. I mean, Stinkmen are not forgotten. I also can't wait for my video on the topic. I've been itching about it. The Stinkmen are funny. Flamingo, the Stinkmen rock. What do you mean? They just like walk around in their own shit. How is that not the funniest concept for like guys? They're just guys is what gets me. Don't know their names, don't know where they just stink. They just stink. The Stinkmen as a concept are hilarious. They just walk around and they fucking stink. That's awesome. Like, that is so awesome. And we never see them again. In fact, now I'm thinking it's funnier if we do never see them again. They just walk around, they stink, they popped up for a second and they're gone. That's it. That's probably hilarious, actually. Zoro does the same thing. Zoro is the official stink man. That's true. That's very true. Stink swordsman. Hi, applesauce. It's their time to shine. The Stinkman will take out Imu. Watch. 100%. Guaranteed. Imu's gone. The Stinkman will wipe them out. My recent crush out tweets about Zoro discussion. Oh! Yeah, that wasn't even about Zoro. That was just in general. For those who don't know, I made a tweet about like how it feels to very clearly notice like narrative narrative themes and character and intentional character writing depth, and people tell you it's not that deep, because you know how much that happens to me. It's not that deep. Or they say to me, where did Oda say that? And it's just Sabo going, "Aah!" Basically, yeah, that's exactly how it feels. The biggest thing for me, and this always gets me, is Sanji's design, right? His design is clearly him hiding his face. Now think about why he would hide his face, you know? Really think about why he'd hide his face. Surely this can't be connected to anything. And I literally talked about how there's literally Sanji's like whole design has like insecurity. There's an insecurity of his masculinity, and there's an insecurity of his appearance, and there's an insecurity of who he even is. And I remember getting people going, where did Oda say that? What do you mean? What do you mean? Use your eyes, use your eyeballs, read. There's something called show don't tell. It's really important. It's really important. It's so important. Look with your special eyes. Reading comprehension. Oda's been doing a lot of telling lately because he's fucking sick of it. I keep laughing about it. He's so tired. I keep saying one of my absolute favorite lines he has, or one of my favorite tells he ever did, is when he made Zoro angry at Sanji's leaving in Zoro. And clearly tons of people did not understand what was going on there. So he made Luffy look into the camera and say, Zoro, you're worried about Sanji, aren't you? I love that one. I love that one because he was clearly like, oh fuck, they're not picking up. They're not picking up what I'm putting down. I have to, oops, I have to do it for them. It cracks me up, and people still don't get it, right? They still don't get it. I hear Blueberry sneezing out there. Oh my god, Sanji uses the exposition device for Zoro and Punk Hazard when Zoro's like, Luffy, this is the new world, get it together. And Sanji says he's so tough on himself. And it's like, Oda's fucking tired, man. He's tired. He's so tired. He literally needs Sanji to tell us Zoro's saying that about himself, not about Luffy. Because we wouldn't have fucking picked it up otherwise.
Howdy do, boys.
Drives me nuts. Is Oda locked into the discourse about his manga? I do believe he gets frustrated. Again, I don't know the guy personally, but it'd be surely impossible for him to avoid this stuff, right? It's fucking everywhere. One Piece is everywhere. I believe he does get frustrated. I think he does get frustrated when people are not picking up what he's trying to say sometimes. And that's why we're getting more telling, because we're reaching the end. And now he's saying, if at this point you are still not understanding what I'm trying to say, the end is going to really shock you. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what's happening. Maybe his wife goes to him and is like, by the way, this is what they're saying. And he goes, oh my god. A lot of authors do avoid social media, but what I'm saying is, imagine how many people talk to Oda about One Piece, right? Imagine how many people do that. And how much shit he'd have to hear. And how many opinions he'd have to hear. Right? It would drive him fucking nuts. It would truly drive him nuts. It's a matter of reading comprehension. That one is so funny. Fuck, I forgot about that one. It's a matter of reading comprehension. Oh, that is such a good one. Spoiled in the ad of trains. He also said, what? He said it's dangerous that he doesn't want to think everyone has this level of comprehension. He went, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. That scared me a little bit. Oh, they're too into it. Yeah, the theory videos do affect. That makes sense. That's the same reason why I don't watch other One Piece content creators. I love them, but I don't watch other One Piece content creators because I'm afraid that'll seep into my own work. Because the reason you guys watch me is because the opinions I have and the things I say are mostly from this brain. I am a little bit worried to watch other people's One Piece content because I worry that I will then get twisted myself. Do you know what I mean? So I totally understand that. Not wanting to watch theory stuff. It makes sense to me. Like, even like Jork and Mama Jork, I love them, but I very rarely watch their stuff because they come up with fantastic stuff, and I don't just want to piggyback off what they're saying. I also want to come up with my own ideas and my own interpretations. I am here so I can give you guys my interpretation and you can decide if you like that or not, right? That's what I'm here for. Unless the author himself has said something about something, then that's kind of, you know, ooh, I don't know, is that still interpretation? But you know, whatever. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm yapping because I'm probably not going to be streaming tomorrow. Did you guys see the animation for the One Piece Space Shop? It, I believe, started. It like started with Ace and ended with Blackbeard. It was fucking awesome. For those who don't know, it started with Ace lighting up his flame, and then it snapped to Sabo in the exact same position holding the flame. That was fucking awesome. That was just awesome. You can truly feel the love in that, right? That Ace to Sabo transition was just glorious. It was so glorious. There's a new base shop that has opened in Japan for One Piece, and like there's one little like room. Sorry. Sorry, there's one room that is just like a full animated, it's like a 360 animation. It's fucking crazy. And it like has tons of different characters in it. And again, it opens with Ace in darkness and he lights his flame, cuts to Sabo, and it ends with Blackbeard causing the darkness, and then it fades back to Ace again. It's just phenomenal. It's truly phenomenal. Like they really, really, really worked. You can tell like how much heart they put into that. It was just beautiful. Smoker was there, Toshigi was there, Shirahoshi was there, my girl. Vivi was surely there. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but surely she was there. A lot of cameos. Who's Mori again? Is Mori an animator or are they the current director for the anime? Because of course I know Ishitani, but Ishitani is like a more of a guest animator and director. She comes in sometimes and she just makes masterpieces. My question is, was Mori the one responsible for Sanji not being in the egghead shot? They weren't responsible for that, right? Because I'd struggle to say they're a good team if that was them. I know Ishitani, I'm just not familiar with Mori. That was someone else? I sure hope so. Because that was crazy work. That was just crazy work. And fan letter. Oh. I see. I need to watch this week's anime episode. Oh, I've got so much to do. I've got so much. Guys, Christmas is coming. I've got so much work to do. Directing changes from episode to episode, that's true. And you can tell every time Ishitani gets it because she's just phenomenal. I don't know why Ishitani's not permanent. Now, I really liked fan letter, but someone in my stream brought this up, and ever since they brought this up, I have been a bit peeved by it. They will bring up the power scaling, but they will not nod to the shippers.
Howdy do, boys.
And I know this sounds like, oh, Mel, blah, 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 but the reason that peeves me is because I know a lot of you don't believe me. A huge base of a lot of fandoms are the shippers. And it's like, so you'll acknowledge the power scalers and you'll acknowledge a gender piece who are mostly men, but you will not acknowledge, as a joke, your shippers who are mostly your non-men audience. You know what I mean? Someone brought that up, and ever since they brought that up, that has actually peeved me a little bit. Because it's like shipping has been part of One Piece ever since One Piece's conception. No one wants to believe me, but like the ships in One Piece, the major ships in One Piece, I'm telling you guys, you would not understand unless you went to Japan and you went to those big fan comic stores, like huge ones. You wouldn't understand it is because unless you went there, you wouldn't understand how big the culture is. It's just huge. I'll never forget going to the fan comic store, and it was literally like full bookshelves, like full bookshelves. 4 of them were full of nothing but Zoro and Sanji. 4 whole ones made by hundreds of different authors, like fan authors. And then the rest of the row and the other side of the row was all other One Piece ships, right? All of them. Like, I cannot reiterate how big shipping culture is, and how big and how like shipping culture is truly like a staple for like huge anime and huge series. As much as many people don't like that, or they don't like to admit it, it's a huge part of fandom. It's just huge. So Tsubaki, I think you're the one that brought it up. So I think ever since Tsubaki, you brought up that they will bring up power scaling, but they won't even joke about like shipping. I was like, you're right. That is kind of iffy that they didn't do that. Like, just a joke. I'm not telling them to make anyone kiss. I'm saying I just want someone to joke. Like, I wish in fan letter there was like a joke. Like, do you think they've got something going on? Like, just a joke. That's all I'm asking for. Just an acknowledgement that we exist too as fans, you know? It would have been nice. One shipper at the power scaling table would have been hilarious. It would have been hilarious. That would have been hilarious. I'd love that shit. It'd be funny. Like... I'm just asking for a hee hee ha ha, you know what I mean? However, I did really like the little girl. I really, really liked the little girl. I just loved her because I saw myself in her. I really did. Because I don't know if you guys know this, the reason I'm pink the way I am and the reason I currently dress the way I do is because of Nami. I know that sounds stupid and ridiculous, but I did not used to look like this. I did not have the confidence to look like this or to walk out like this. And then I read One Piece and I loved Nami and I went, fuck, I want to be me. Like, right? I want to be me. That's why my first tattoo was Nami. She's here. I'm not orange because orange isn't my favorite color. Pink is. Nami, she gave me confidence. I can be proud of who I am because of Nami. Anyway, sorry, that's cringe. All right. That is an unpopular opinion. I really liked fan letter just because, again, fan letter was just, it truly touched to like for me anyway, touched to like the reason for why One Piece is so special to people. Because of course, all the original characters they had in fan letter were not exactly supposed to be characters within One Piece's world. They were supposed to represent the audience. And that's why I'm like, it would have been nice if they had just one little shipper joke, just one acknowledgement that shippers exist. Because it really would have been nice. But I liked fan letter a lot because I do think they did their research in regards to what One Piece does to you. Because I really like the fact that the little girl never got to meet Nami. Like, she never actually got to meet Nami. She never truly got to give her letter to Nami. And that's true, right? We're never gonna meet the Straw Hats. You're never gonna meet Luffy. I'm never gonna meet Nami. I'm never gonna meet Sanji. Damn it. But that's just the case. That's what's gonna happen, you know? And I liked fan letter a lot because it just like the confidence that it gave the little girl to do to run where she wanted to run and be who she wanted to be, right? That's how I felt. I felt exactly the same as that. And I also really loved, I literally made a video on this. I also really loved when the big burly guy liked Chopper. Like he thought Chopper was so cute. He just thought Chopper was so cute. And I love that because I love that, like, I talked about it again in the video. I love that it's like a lot of people like are on Chopper's ass because, oh, he's the mascot, he's too cute, blah blah blah. But there is a huge genre of One Piece fans who love Chopper specifically because they just think he's a cutie pie. They think he's a cutie patootie. So one person's yuck is another person's yum, as they say, but that's like used for another context. But you guys know what I mean. Like the people that complain constantly about, oh, Chopper's too cute, Chopper's too cute. There's a whole group of people who are like, I love how cute Chopper is. I love how cute Chopper is. I love that he's a cutie patootie. You know what I mean? I just think that's adorable, honestly. And I like that. That's why I like that big burly guy thinking Chopper's adorable, because it like made me realize, well, yeah, Chopper's cuteness is something that makes a lot of people happy. It'll piss other people off and other people will enjoy it greatly. They just like his little cutie pie. His little cutie patootie. And Tony. Way too much cute. Why they didn't have any girly liking Sanji is fucking beyond me. Because guys, I don't know if you know this, Sanji does have a fucking ridiculous amount of female fans. He's got tons of them. Literally, when they market Sanji for like events, he's marketed to the women. They tend to market Sanji to women. Not usually the men. A lot of the times the men do get Sanji marketing, but you know the restaurant that they have in Universal, the Sanji restaurant that they have in Universal Japan? Guess who that's marketed to? It's marketed to women, specifically MILFs. It's literally marketed towards mums. Like, the image they use to market the Sanji cafe in Universal Japan was Sanji serving a mum, and the mum was going, like, he's marketed to women. So it's like, why have they not included just like one or two girls going here? Like, I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't include that. Like, I'm not just saying this as a Sanji fan. A lot of Sanji fans are girls. Tons of them. Like, a lot of us, like, so many of us exist. I honestly don't know the percentage, but it's huge. It's massive, mate. Put me in fan letter. Don't do that because I'll do horrible, horrible things. I kin Black Maria. No, I know men exist. But, you know, not for Sanji. Not for Sanji. Men love Zoro, they just love him. It's true. I can see why. I always say, fuck, it must be good to be Zoro. Oh, sorry, sorry, because you just said that. My bad. Anyway, sorry, I've been yapping and yapping and yapping. I've been yapping. We had a lot to talk about. We moved on from the chapter. Every time I talk and stream to you guys, I'm like, wow, I got a bit too angry there. But you know what? This is my job. Someone commented, I'd really like to know what your job is. And I was like, bro, this is it. This is my job. This is literally my job. My job is talking about One Piece. I think I'm allowed to get passionate about what pays my mortgage. Because it's fucking Sanji. Sanji pays my mortgage. Western fans underestimate how much Japanese housewives have shaped pop culture from there. Western fans also underestimate how much Western housewives have shaped pop culture. Star Trek? That's housewives. Star Trek was housewives. People don't know that. Like, who do you think was watching? Thank you, Voticon. See, now it works. That's what was meant to happen last time. Voticon, you're too nice. We watch you for it. Thank you. But, like, who do you think was sitting at home and watching everything and catapulting things into the popular hemisphere while the husbands were off working, right? It was the wives. The wives were the thing, the ones making things popular. Specifically Star Trek. But, you know, whatever. Again, I'm just too woke. Anyway, I have to, guys, it's nearly 5 a.m. I have got to go. I've got to go. Oh, sorry. Anyway, we had a lot to talk about. You guys got a glimpse into what the new video is going to be. It's gonna be a lot. As you can see, it's gonna be quite heated and it's gonna be quite opinionated and passionate. But don't worry, I will cite my sources. As you all know, I always cite my sources. Okay? This was a really good chapter. No, like everything aside, I'm sorry I yap like crazy. This was a fantastic chapter. There were some fantastic panels in the chapter. Honestly, the panel of Imu looking down on Harold while there's like those hypnotism rings is just fantastic. That was an incredible panel. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous panel. I really think some of Oda's best panels lately have been with Imu. I think Oda is utilizing Imu to the fullest degree because Imu's design is so like minimal, but it's also so abstract. And the panels that Oda is creating with Imu's design is just, I just think it's fantastic. Like, I adore that Imu literally sucks the light out of the pages. Like, Oda will draw full panels that are just Imu, and it's just one big dark panel, literally sucking the white from the pages. It is fucking incredible what he's doing with Imu. Like, Imu is such a good, just like everything that Imu is, Imu's design and Imu's powers and what Imu says, everything about Imu is just oppression. Like, it's just oppression and superiority, you know what I mean? And just a disgusting display of just evil power, right? It's just awesome. I just love the way Imu takes the light from the pages. Overwhelming and all-powerful over the panel. God, I really am hoping that Oda makes a panel where Imu literally drips over the panel frames and like makes it look like Imu is actively like inking these pages. Do you know what I mean? I'd love for him to do that. for Imu to like in a meta way, Imu's existence is like, yeah, exactly, breaking the fourth wall. In the same way Luffy has this cartoonish power of kind of breaking the fourth wall, why can't Imu have that too? Like, I do believe Imu's going to be a bit of a rubber hose kind of animation as well, because of the abstractness of Imu's design, because of the wibbly wobbly of Imu's design. I think there's going to be a bit of rubber hose there, and I think that's going to include Imu's own evilness, like, affecting our reading. Like, I'd love for that. I'd just love for that. I'd go crazy for that. Have I not said this before? Is this not something I've said before? Sorry, there's so much in my head. Sometimes I say the same thing 10 times, and then I say one thing one time, and I go, oh, I haven't said that. Sorry, anyway, sorry, okay, before I end the stream, I think Imu's powers are going to be similar to Luffy's, and it's going to be rubber hose. And I think it's going to be rubber hose because it's going to contrast Luffy, but not in the contrast of Imu's going to be stiff. In the contrast of, while Luffy brings light and joy to the page with his rubber hose designs, Imu's going to be the opposite. And Imu's flexibility and abstract nature is going to bring total darkness to the page. While Luffy can reach out of the page and try and bring us light, Imu can reach out of the page and bring us dark, right? Just darkness. Like the tar from those old cartoons. Exactly. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. The ink fruit. It's just like Imu's, I just love Imu's design. Imu's design, Imu's power. Like, say what you want about One Piece, but holy fuck, Oda is just so fantastic at how he makes his characters and how he makes sure everything about the character he's creating correlates to like the theme of the character. And as you all know, one of my favorites is Doflamingo. Doflamingo's creation and like Doflamingo's thematic correlation between person and story and power is just fucking fantastic. Like, that's really what struck me with Doflamingo. Everything about him was caging people, using people, which is why when I look at Imu, it's like Doffy times more billion. It's just fantastic what he's doing, because Imu actively affects the page. Imu affects each panel drastically. It's just awesome. Like the fact that Imu is even faceless. Like, I was telling people that I don't even think that's a silhouette. I think that's just what Imu is. Like, I don't think Imu has a face per se. I just think Imu is that. Just total darkness. Maybe one day we'll see what Imu used to be, who Imu used to be. But I think what Imu is now is just this, right? It's just this blob, this massive darkness. Because again, it totally correlates to what Imu was doing to the world of One Piece. Imu is quite literally just darkness, bringing darkness about to One Piece's world. Oda drew Imu's face in contrast where you can sort of see their skin. I can't say I remember that. They have different forms. Quite possible. I mean, they must have different forms, right? I love so far currently, I love everything about Imu. I think as far as final antagonists go, Imu is fucking phenomenal. Like, I couldn't ask for a better, like, big antagonist. I think Imu is true. Like, the fucking devil, the literal cartoonish devil imagery that he had with Gunko. When Gunko had, like, Gunko currently has the devil tail, the devil horns, and the devil spear. Like, it's cartoonish, isn't it? That's literally a cartoon devil. This man, like, this thing, Imu is just a cartoon blob. But also is the scariest thing that Oda has created. Like, it's just awesome. It's fucking awesome. I love Imu. Different gears for Imu. That would be really cool, actually, if Imu had that. From the Bible. Exactly, from the Bible. To be the silhouette. That would be funny. The void. I do think Imu is going to be a metaphor for how power corrupts people. I do think Imu used to be normal, but Imu started to obtain power, and the obtaining of power just created this monster, right? The more power Imu gained, the more monstrous they became. Not in a sympathetic way, in a this is what greed does to a person way. I don't even think Imu, like, I don't know if Imu was once like Harold. Like, I'm not thinking of Imu as used to be a just and good ruler. I just think Imu was someone that wanted power. I mean, that's something that really struck me. So someone talked about Luffy's childlike power or childlike nature. That's something that really struck me with Imu. Imu's powers use board games. Imu is using games for their power. There is a childlikeness to Imu as well. Imu's power does seem to be as cartoonish as Luffy's in a sense. I'm not exactly sure at this point in time what that means, but it's there. That correlation is there.
Howdy do, boys!
He's free, but in a devilish way. I believe Imu is free in the way that the only way Imu is free is to cage others. And again, that directly correlates Luffy. Where Luffy believes in a freedom for all, Imu does not. Imu believes in freedom for me. Like, when Luffy talks about the world, Luffy is talking about the world. When Imu talks about the world, it's quite clear that Imu means me. I am the world, right? So, there's a freedom that Imu has, but the reason I like the definition of freedom in One Piece, and I like the definition of Luffy's freedom, is because Luffy's freedom is you can be free, you can do what you want, just don't fucking hurt people. Right? You can be free to exist so long as that doesn't hurt the existence of others, right? I really like Luffy's definition of freedom because of that. Luffy truly does believe in freedom, but he believes in authentic freedom. Not in I get freedom and you don't. Not in the way Attack on Titan presents freedom. Anyway, okay, I'm done. I'm going into my box. We're going into my box now. All right. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone sticking by. Thank you for waiting for me. I'm sorry that this stream was late. Because again, it was internet stuff. I had no choice. I will see you guys. Oh, God, I don't know when I'm gonna have this script done. I will have the script done tomorrow. I'll get the script done tomorrow and then I'll record it maybe in the night. Maybe in 2 days. You might see me in 2 days, okay? Because we have a break. Thank God we have a break. And I will be seeing you guys soon. Thank you for the donations, everyone. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the conversations. As always, it's not that serious, guys. We are talking about One Piece. Just because we don't agree on things doesn't mean I hate you. Unless you don't like Sanji, then I think I hate you. But we're talking about One Piece. I'm not holding anything against anybody. So I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye. Oh bye. Bye.